Welcome to the PTA Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, John Caligiuri, and come with my co-host, Nick Kelling. Nick, how you doing today?
Howdy, I'm doing great.
It's awesome to see your beautiful face.
You
I'm
too.
ex-
And that beautiful mustache.
I love it when a plan comes together. Um, I'm excited for this clip. It's about the entrepreneur mentality. I'm interested to see your thoughts on it because I'm not a big fan of the internet entrepreneur culture, but we'll dive into it. Let's roll this clip.
For breakfast. If you miss your built on the backs of men who smoked cigarettes, drove without seatbelts, and had bacon for breakfast. If you miss your biohacking routine this morning, you're going to be okay. There's a time for leverage, but there's also a time for violence, which is just brute force. People get really obsessed with optimal, which is getting the most bang for your buck, but there's also maximizing, which is just getting the most bucks. You lose more life trying to optimize everything than just living it. The stress of trying to be perfect is killing you more quickly than your imperfections. America was built on the backs of...
So basically, that's an Alex Hormozy quote, an internet personality unto him, like by himself. I know you could be, for all the listeners and people viewing it, you can definitely say these people are very hypocrites because we have a social, like we're on social media, we have a podcast, so we're definitely in this culture. One of those things I just cannot stand is everyone's got to be perfect. I gotta wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta have my 12 shots of B12 micronutrients. I gotta meditate for 17 seconds. And if my receptionist doesn't smile at me, it's a bad sign. I absolutely despise it. So Nick, how about we go through what our morning routines are? What is your morning routine?
I wake up half the time. I wake up 5:30 through 6. Sometimes I try to wake up earlier, try to go to the gym. Most of the time I press the snooze button and sleep in a little bit later. Sometimes I go to the gym, but most of the time I press the snooze button. Yeah, I wake up. My wife and I make breakfast. We eat, then she goes off to work, and then I start my prospecting routine, calling people, follow up, contacting new people. Try to have those 10 to 15 new conversations about real estate every single day with different people, and then I go up. Then I follow up with my people that I've been talking to for quite a while, sending them new houses, trying to book appointments, and then in the evening I have my appointments that I go to. So that's kind of my daily routine. And then this podcast.
That's podcasts. We do try to podcast at least twice a week. Yeah, mine's similar. I wake up probably between 5:30 and 6. I live a block from the beach, so I do like walking. Like I do like getting my my quote unquote exercise by walking on the beach in the morning, just because I feel like a mafioso, and I do enjoy the smells of the ocean. So, but it's only like a mile.
That's what I miss about living next to the ocean.
Yeah.
My wife and I was actually talking about that, like before bed or early in the morning. We're waking up and just walking the beach and just like your feet on the ocean. There's the water. Oh my gosh, that would be perfect morning for me.
Yeah, you should move to New Jersey. Come to the shore.
I mean, those needles might poke me though.
No, actually, you have to pay to get on the beach on the Jersey Shore. So there's no needles. They clean it up every day. One of the people that we have like a lot of the workers who because they literally drive tractors at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they pick up all the trash. One of the building where like they do all the work in the house, the tractors, is next to my bank. So we have a lot of the guys who do that as customers.
Oh, nice.
So the Jersey Shore beaches are amazing. My dad, my entire life, he kept on saying, I can't wait to retire. I'm going to move to South Carolina. I can't wait to retire. I'm moving to South Carolina. He came to the Jersey Shore one summer. He goes to South Carolina. He's like, it's not the Jersey Shore beaches. I don't think I can retire here. So the beaches are very nice. Counter to popular belief, the beaches are very nice.
Okay.
So
definitely take a vacation up there sometime then.
Definitely should come in the summer.
Yeah.
Definitely add it to the list. We could do a live pod.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. On the beach.
On the beach for sure. I don't know what would be worse, Nick. Do you think the sound of us having the beach in the background and the waves crashing worse than our first episodes, like our first 20 episodes when we're doing the phone recording? What do you think is the worst audio, the beach, the waves in the background, or our phones? Because
so we would have to put one of these on our mics so it muffs the sound of the beach, and then put it through a software system and then it would be good.
Yeah, then it'd be good.
But definitely probably our first episodes.
Yeah, probably our first episodes would sound way worse. The audio. Shout out to I just want to shout out to Les for being with us this entire time, because we are on episode 40. We're eyeing in on episode 50, and the boy to Les has been with us this whole time. So for all the listeners out there, I just want to say one, thank you for being with us, and if you're a new listener, welcome. But for the people who've been with us since day one, we truly do appreciate you, because the audio the first 15 episodes before we went to YouTube was unacceptable. And if you in the future you have hearing loss, I'm not going to take any responsibility for that, but it probably is on us.
We get some lawsuits or something.
A couple losses along the way for just poor audio. But yes,
We
people.
got our mics.
Yeah, we got mics now. I just want to say thank you for all the people who've been with us. But getting back to the clip and this YouTube culture, I would say this optimization culture that really kind of has penetrated through everything. Of you can link into the anxiety that Americans face and things of that nature. I really just don't agree with, and I just don't like it. It annoys me. Do you have the same trepidations too, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great resource to use for marketing and just getting your message out to the world. But what people do is that there's like zombies on the phone. I always preach post, not scroll. If you have an entrepreneur mindset, you have to utilize social media.
Hate that too. An entrepreneurial mindset. I hate when people say that. Everyone's like, I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, there's literally, you can go take entrepreneurial classes. I took entrepreneurship in high school. It's like, bro, it's business. We've been doing business since we came in and invaded over here on the freaking Mayflower. You know what I'm saying? We're business people. We just get things done. But now we got to be an entrepreneur this, entrepreneur that. Like, it's a buzzword. I despise it. I despise it deeply. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in this space.
Business mind. If you want to open up your own business,
but to me, the American mindset, like America's always like, oh, I got 2 crates, I got 2 tobacco leaves, I can roll this shit up and sell it. Like, that's what America's built on. Like the hustle, all that crap I despise. It's just so cringeworthy to me. As someone in that space, and yes, I'm a hypocrite right now, but I absolutely despise the entrepreneurial mindset. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And don't even get me started on freaking the day traders.
Oh yeah,
those people are not real.
No, I mean, I met one successful day trader, and he had a pretty fat bank account. He was trading all the time, but he also was buying a special finance vehicle. So I don't know how much of it was a persona.
No, even if you like work on Wall Street or if you work for an investment firm, you have to be extremely specialized. The only way to be successful in that space, in my opinion, we can get a financial advisor or someone who's a trader on here and disagree with me. But I would say this is investing. I would say this is my opinion on all investing or business operations. You have to be an expert of your field. And especially when you're doing trading where it's all a Fugay's number, like literally the number is just based on supply and demand and the expectation. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to day trade crypto today, or then I'm going to day trade milk futures, or do this or do that. You need to be like, okay, I'm going to focus on milk futures. That is going to be my area of expertise, and I'm going to study everything I know about that, and I'm going to be an insider of that. Then I think anyone can trade it. But what a lot of people like, oh, I'm going to do NVIDIA, or I'm going to trade Apple, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to day trade all day. That's just not a successful strategy. And there's people who say that they do it on social media, I think are all liars. And like I said, getting back to the clip, I think everyone who says they have a daily routine is a liar. I don't think they ever do it. I think they do it once when they film the video and they say
Yeah.
you should do it and this is how you be successful. And then they never, and that's the one and only time they do their daily morning routine. Besides Jocko Willing, shout out Jocko. I met him. I saw him speak. Great guy. I do really think he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning and gets after it every day.
He does post it on social media.
Yeah, he does post on social media. I do believe Jocko. I'm a fan of Jocko, and I do believe him. But if you're just some Joe Schmo from California with a 6-pack, all jacked up on TRT and Adderall, I don't believe that's your morning routine. I don't think anything you do is really real. I think you just got lucky.
I don't believe in luck.
That's such a. What do you mean you don't believe in luck, Nicholas?
You got to grind. They
That's
grind
mine.
it.
Oh,
They made it happen. There's lucky things that can happen, but to boil it all down into it's just luck.
if you want to speak honestly, which I hope we do on this podcast, as two people who I don't classify us as successful yet. I don't think we've reached what we want to do. I would not classify myself as a success right now. But as someone who wants to be quote unquote successful, and I think that definition is up to each person. So, like, in my opinion, I'm not successful yet, and I don't think in your opinion you're successful yet. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I really believe that to get lucky or to be successful, you need to put yourself in positions to win. That's the kind of reason why we're doing this podcast. That's why I got into banking, and then eventually you will be successful. Like, eventually, if you for us, we want to invest in real estate and things of that nature. So, like, that's the reason why I got into retail banking, because after I moved home, after the trucking company went belly up and we weren't going to do that anymore, I was like, what are like my skills? I was like, well, I'm a natural salesman. I'm a talker. I was like, I could either do three things. I could sell insurance, I could sell houses, or I could be a retail banker, because those are all sales jobs. I eventually landed on retail banker because you got a salary, benefits, security, and also like a vessel of you're going to meet so many different people. Like I open accounts up for dentists, doctors, accountants, lawyers, construction people. Everyone's, it's like kind of the base of it. So you're just meeting and you building your network through that. And that's kind of reason why I chose this career path of eventually. And that's kind of what I'm banking on. That's my philosophy. I would love to hear yours, Nick, 'cause I don't think we've ever talked about this even offline, of like, what are your thoughts on how to be successful? Because some people probably have different, I know for certain someone has a different point of view. I kind of want to hear what your strategy is as two people who are not successful in their own eyes.
Yeah, I guess the answer to that question, either say like, what do I think being successful, like what's that end goal?
Yeah.
And that end goal for me is to have a family. I think have a family, have a good support system, and live a happy, God-fearing life. That's what I deem is successful at the end of the day. And how I want to achieve that is through real estate. I want to focus on real estate, and I want to be known in my local area as the guy to buy real estate from. I also want to be a builder. So knowing that process and being able to see a piece of land and immediately know, hey, that's a good deal. We can build something on it, sell it, and make a lot of money. And be able to do that repeatedly, have a system in place where, this is where I think kind of a business mindset, or even an entrepreneur mindset, it's kind of like I can identify that, and I can task that out to someone to follow my system that I created to then make money on. And then like all I'm doing is the initial driving system, and then I can teach someone else to do that. I just have to upfront that money. And I think a complete hands off of something is not realistic. But I guess knowledge, wisdom is definitely a big part of being successful.
So now that we understand what your definition of success is, which, and I appreciate you with us sharing with us, what steps are you taking? Kind of like, what is your method of approach to achieving that?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, real estate license. I'm involved in real estate, meeting a lot of people from the trades right now, just talking to people. I've met a few architects, planners, and all that stuff right now. People who work for the government here in Houston, knowing how those systems work. I'm planning on meeting some subcontractors for foundation soon, just to see, hey, what's that step? What do I need to do for that? Because my goal is to eventually buy a piece of land and start building a house on it soonish. So, and then right now I'm taking classes for construction management and getting my degree in that, and also working in real estate. So a combination, and that's what I'm learning, how real estate is sold and bought, how the construction and the managing process of that, because a lot of people don't understand the managing process of it. They throw money at this thing and they lose money. That happens all the time, every day in real estate. So
Yeah.
being prepared, but also be able to take that action, because a lot of people, they want to focus on how to do things, and then and then once they know how to do things, they never take that action. They always want to be like, oh, I need to know more information. I need to know more information. It's like, there's a limit, and then the only thing you can really do is take that action. Otherwise, you're just in a hamster wheel, just going over and over and not going anywhere. So definitely taking that action, but being prepared for that action. Because a lot of people, I think, especially on social media, you see is like, everyone just take action, take action, take action. Like, what are you doing? You're getting a degree in management, but like, you need to do that. You haven't achieved anything. Like a degree is pointless. It's like, okay, yeah, some aspects of it is, yes, but you gotta have that base understanding before you can hop into something and invest $400,000 into this project.
And I completely agree with you, Nick, there. And I do try to take that mentality into my work, and I think you do as well. I see a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to work for someone. I just want to work for myself, or especially in this entrepreneur space. But they're completely blind to the fact of that you don't know how to be an entrepreneur. You have no skills.
No.
And I will say,
a YouTube video.
You watch one YouTube video and like now you expect to be because like that's what a lot of these people are. Let me just sell you this course, how to be successful. I saw a guy came in the other day to the bank and wanted to open a business account, and he was running an academy to tell people how to be successful in business. I'm like, oh, what business have you run? He's like, oh, I've never done it before. But he read a book and he watched a YouTube video. So basically, to me, it's all just of telling people how to be successful from people who've never been successful.
And then this is a positive thing about social media too. It's a way to document what you have done, so people can see and be like, oh, this guy's actually for real. Like one of our guests, he's an engineer, but he doesn't finish college, but he posted everything he did on LinkedIn.
Caleb Nolan, Caleb Nolan.
Yeah. So, and then he got a job, probably paying around the same thing, with only having to do like 1 or 2 years of school.
Yeah, shout out the boy, recurring guest, Caleb Nolan. We love that man.
Yep.
And no, Nick, I completely agree with you. And I do think it should be a learning lesson of, just for me, like when I go through, because I see probably between 5 and 8 customers a day. I legitimately use I look at it as a training rep of like, how do I master my craft? Because I'm a salesman. Right now, I'm a salesman. My title is banker, but really I'm selling these banking products. So every single time I see a customer, I focus on my position statement, or how do I get there, or overcoming objections. And then afterwards I do a debrief in my head. I'm like, okay, I brought up the credit card here. That was kind of a lazy way to do that. Like, you're better than that. Or I had a really good position statement here, but he gave me this objection, and my objection to that was pretty bad. Like, what were you thinking there? And then eventually you get better and better and better. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert salesperson or even like a stellar one, but I know for certain that I'm getting better. And I think that is the advantage of working in something. That's what kind of comes back to my point originally. You got to put yourself in positions to win. Like if you want to get into real estate, you should probably be in real estate in some way of like either real estate agent, a lender, loan officer, something in that space just to build your portfolio, your network, because you can't do anything by yourself, and just learn the ins and outs, because you can watch 1 million YouTube videos, read 100,000 books, but you don't know the ins and outs of like, how does a loan get processed? How does a loan get built? Or like what is a good strategy in this market, or what's the vibe? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why there's still boots on the ground, because you need to have the vibe of the situation.
Yeah. I talked to someone that was thinking about maybe mentoring him or something like, or me being his, or like he's being my mentor. And I just asked him some basic questions, that I already knew as a real estate agent. And like, he didn't even know if it was a seller's market or a buyer's market. And he just bought like a piece of land and was going to build a house on. I'm like, you don't even know what kind of market it is. Interesting. Like, I mean, maybe he was, knew the process better than the average person, but I mean, it kind of seemed like he kind of didn't know a lot of the questions that I was asking.
Yeah. And I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. God bless and have a good rest of your day.
See ya.